Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today, Blyth Asda Roundabout. So Blyth Asda Roundabout, right, haven't you done this before? Actually I have. So this roundabout, or this two roundabouts that are stuck together on the Blyth test route are, well, difficult to say the least. I made a video on it ages ago, and it keeps coming up. It keeps coming up all the time. And it's not that people don't want to watch that video. It's that the way that some people do it is different, shall we say. Before we go any further, like, comment and subscribe. So this roundabout, Blyth Asda Roundabout, Kitty Brewster Roundabout, 193, 189 interchange, there's lots of different names. Basically, it comes down to this: a really poor junction for 2025. It's actually been a really poor junction since it was built, because it was built pretty poorly. There is some information on here about what they kind of plan to do if they ever get round to it. It was supposed to be an EU grant like 15 years ago about, well, sorting the road out. Basically, you've got a ton of traffic coming off a highway that enters a two-way single carriageway road, and because it goes that way, then all the traffic blocks up. But I'm not interested in that bit. I'm interested in the bit that goes from Blyth out to Bebbside, or out to the 189. As you travel along Coupon Road, the A193 towards this, then you pick a lane. Now, in the video of the test route, the pupil doesn't fail, and this was the question. So the question's there, and I'll put the video up over here, and you'll be able to watch it as we go through. So basically what happens is the pupil is in the left-hand side, but we're turning right onto the A189 north on the second roundabout. Now, there's nothing wrong with being in the left-hand side, but local knowledge instantly tells you that it's a poor roundabout design, and you kind of should be in the right-hand side to go straight on at the first roundabout and then turn right at the second roundabout, logically. Except it's not very well marked out. It's a very poor design, and sometimes some people look at it and go, what the is going on, yeah? So the pupil hasn't failed for that bit of video you've just said, because there was nobody to affect when she came back to the right. There's the problem. What happens if somebody would be there and you are turning right? Because I guarantee the car on the right hand side would end up blocking you. I've got a little video of one that I've done. I'm just going to go straight into Bebbside, and I'll put it up here, and you can watch it and see how I do it. I'm just going straight on into Bebbside, but we've got to be aware of little bits and pieces. As we're going through here, then you've got to be careful of cars on your right hand side. So if you're trying to get back to the right, because you're turning right on the second roundabout, then you'll find it really difficult because of the crossing point. So at the crossing point, it might turn red and the cars queue up. As the cars queue up, then you can't get across. So if you can't get across, then what happens is, well, you have to stay in the left-hand lane. You've got two choices at that point. You can either turn left and go south, or you can go into Bebbside. Now, on a driving test, they can't criticise you for going the wrong way. So if you accidentally end up in the left-hand side and realise that you are going to turn right on the roundabout, then just deliberately or intentionally go second exit. Then we get a problem. You've probably seen these marks in a theory test, but it's sometimes very difficult. Because the railway line's very active now and it's signed off for passenger services, then what happens is, as you come round the corner, you can get a massive queue of traffic in front of you. And as you go around the corner, you can't block the slip road exit on the left-hand side. Because if you block the exit, the examiner fails you. Actually, you shouldn't block it anyway in real life, even after you pass your test, either way. So as you come round that corner, you can literally be facing a pile of traffic. And I've been in the situation where I've been queued up at that level crossing, like 3 cars in, and people have cut down the right-hand side expecting to get in because they've made that error, because the junction exit is too wide. Basically, the roundabout exit on that side is too wide because people can filter into the petrol station on the right-hand side. But it was never kind of designed to be that way. There was never, ever any let's go straight on at this roundabout in both lanes. They never really did mark it up. Later on, they ended up marking it where both lanes from the 189 could go into Blyth, and it says use both lanes. But on that particular really specific part of that junction, if you're in the right-hand side before the big 189 roundabout, you are supposed to turn right as indicated by the information that's written on the floor in paint. Yes, the signs. So, do I fail if I'm in the left-hand side? No, you won't fail at the left-hand side. If you won't fail your driving test if you're in the left-hand lane on the first roundabout, as long as you can get back to the right in the 100 meters or something like that between the 2 roundabouts. If you can get right, turn right, fantastic. You won't fail for going the wrong way. So if you can't get right, go second exit, safest possible route. You won't fail for queuing up for the level crossing unless you're stopping in that keep clear area or you're blocking a junction. Now, because of all of that, sometimes you look at it and you go, yeah, actually, this looks incredibly difficult. It is. The only way you can realistically do this is by practicing it over and over and over again. Of course, you could just do what we originally did in the video, which is on the approach, right-hand side, right-hand lane, stay in the right-hand side, pick the right-hand side, left mirror check, across the crossing, staying in the right-hand side, mirror signal right, round the roundabout, left mirror check as you just get to the lines in the middle of the road, then a left signal once you pass that exit, and then go down the slip road and mirror signal right to join the highway. You could do all of that, as long as you've done it properly. And that's where practice comes in. That junction is particularly poor. I'm in the process of making exactly the same video, which will be in a few days' time, with a different intro, and all about what should they have done, and look forward to that one. I don't think they'll ever build it, but it was on the planning boards about 10, 15 years ago, the same as the Blyth Relief Road was about 20 years ago that they never, excuse me, that they're probably never ever going to build. But yeah, it's a confusing one. A lot of people don't like this junction because it's poorly laid out. It could be a lot better on the approach. One final thing before we go anywhere. An examiner, somebody had written in the comments that they'd failed the test a couple of times, which is unfortunate. I hope you've eventually passed, by the way, person, whoever wrote that comment. They wrote down that they had a right turn on the second roundabout, A189 North, joined the highway, and they had 2 different examiners, whatever it was. One of the examiners just didn't tell them a thing. Sat nav didn't tell them a thing, just kind of expected them to know, which is very poor. Another one gave them a good description, that kind of, before they got to the first set of traffic lights on Cooper Road, and he basically told them that you're probably aware of the 2 roundabouts that are coming up in front of us. What we are going to do, we're going to turn right on the second roundabout, joining the 189. So we'll go straight on at the first one and turning right at the second. Because the people had that in their mind, they were in the right, and they were fine. It wasn't that part of the test that they'd failed on. But the point is that the examiners at Blyth can choose to tell you which way to go or not. Again, is it poorly laid out? Yeah, it is. So, any comments, questions about this, just put them down here somewhere, or wherever you're on. Are you watching it on your mobile? Probably somewhere. Or on the telly. The telly's difficult to put comments on. On a PC is probably the easiest. Or on your phone. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.